Mayor Barbara McMorrow, and on behalf of Deputy Mayor Lester Preston, Committeeman Anthony Amiato, Tom Cook, and David Salkin, I welcome you to From the Mayor's Desk. And I'm very pleased to have with me today Eileen Higgins. She is the CEO of the Girl Scouts. And if you think you know everything about Girl Scouts, wait until you hear what she has to say today in our program. Girl Scouts are so much more than just Thin Mints, although I'm very partial to the Thin Mints, and we're going to talk about the cookie sales that are going on now. You're going to find some interesting things about them we were discussing a little before the show began. So, Eileen, I know we've known each other for a while, but this is a new role for you, CEO of the Girl Scouts of the Jersey Shore. And I'd just like to tell our viewers that the Jersey Shore includes Monmouth and Ocean counties.
Yes.
That happened a few years ago.
Yes.
We're both combined. So you have been the CEO for
14 months?
14 months.
Yes.
So what was it that intrigued you about becoming the CEO of the Girl Scouts of the Jersey Shore?
Well, since you knew me in my former life, I worked for the County of Monmouth and in workforce development. And one of the things I really found was that girls just weren't ready for the workforce. And when the opportunity, I had been a leader for Girl Scouts for my daughter's troop. And when the opportunity came up, we just really realized within workforce that we needed to get to the kids younger to get their skills. And when the opportunity came up with Girl Scouts, which it's just such an amazing organization, but then also to be able to use my workforce skills and help build lifelong learners in girls who are have some needs that need to be addressed separate from boys. I felt very strongly that this was a great fit for both me and them.
Because you had the background.
Yes.
And you had the interest. And you certainly have the capability. I know in 14 months you've done amazing things.
Thank you.
With the Girl Scouts. I'm so excited about it, which is why I asked you to come on. You're going to hear just so many wonderful things. So the Girl Scouts of the Jersey Shore really is a premier leadership development organization for the girls.
Yes.
So what is the scope of your mission, or what is the mission, and how do you go about reaching that goal?
So our mission really is to build girls of courage, confidence, and character who make a difference in the world. And we have four main pillars that we do to address that, and that's outdoors, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, life skills, and entrepreneurship. So we have over 300 badges, over 300 programs that the girls can use, all developed by girls, all developed through research, and they're kept current. So they're as a former teacher, you understand a brownie who's a kindergartner has a different skill than a junior who's in high school. So you can take a robotics class or do a robotics badge, and what we do for a brownie or a young girl is the basics at the beginning, and then as they get older, they can build on those skills in an age-appropriate way.
So you pique their interest.
Yes.
And then you develop it as they go on and as their abilities are enhanced and their learning becomes a little more advanced.
Yes.
Advanced. So you mentioned brownies. I just want to tell our audience that I did find one of my pins, and he told me it was a brownie pin.
Yes.
So I wore it, and after the show I'm going to give it to her because I just also found out a little while ago, which I think is a wonderful thing, that the Girl Scouts are collecting old badges, pins, memorabilia, and for display.
Yes.
You're keeping the history
Yes.
of the Girl Scouts together. So let me just ask you this: if someone is watching, a mom who was a Girl Scout and has it, or a Girl Scout who has all her badges, different things, how could she get in touch with you? Could she just call the Girl Scouts?
They can call the Girl Scouts or go to our website, jerseyshoregirlscouts.org.
And we'll put that on at the end of the show. So if you don't have it, you didn't have a pencil with you, we will have that up again for you, so you'll know. And then they can make an appointment and come over and donate it to you. It's a nice trip down memory lane.
It is. And we have the journals, the books, the Daisy books.
Really?
We have all kinds of song sheets. So as the girls were learning songs, we have some very old
Daisies. Maybe explain what the Daisy is.
So the Daisy is the youngest Girl Scout, and they are kindergarten and first grade. So that's their first initial try into Girl Scouts. And they don't actually earn badges. They earn pedals. So they are exposed to different programs, and they earn a pedal that they can sew on, or we have iron-on now. They can iron onto their vest.
They come sew on.
And then that goes on from there to brownies, which is kindergarten, first grade and second grade, and then up the line, juniors, cadets, ambassadors, seniors. So every different,
I never went
Group
that
set.
far. A Daisy, Brownie, Girl Scout.
well,
and-
everything, they're all Girl Scouts. So quite a number of years ago, they combined it all. Once you become a Girl Scout at any level, you are a Girl Scout for life. Once a Girl
Okay.
Scout, always Girl Scout.
Well, I know, and I just want to mention also, if you see that Eileen is wearing that pin, she's a woman of distinction for the Girl Scouts, and maybe we'll talk about that. Just, why don't we, in fact, right now, just
Okay.
talk about it a little bit. I also am one, and I thank you, I wear it I didn't wear it today because I have on my other pin, I have so many pins, but each year, women are recognized for what they've done in the community.
Yes, so I'm actually not a woman of distinction. I have one because I'm the CEO.
Oh,
So I
okay.
have not earned the high honor
Someday
that you
you will
did, that you did. So we recognize anywhere from 4 to 6 women every year that give back and involve youth, girls in the community. Most of them have had some experience with Girl Scouts, some have not, and we're introducing them to Girl Scouts. And then about 3 years ago, we also added a Man Enough.
Yes, man enough to be a Girl Scout. Yes.
And this year we also have a community partner. So we have that coming up in March. And we're really fortunate, though every year it just amazes me the number of women who are out there who have amazing stories, and we would just want to share them and thank them for what they do in the community.
And I think what also happens is many of them may not have been Girl Scouts, or it was such a long time ago, and Girl Scouts have changed so much, as you'll find as the show goes on, that it brings them back into the Girl Scout fold as well, with wanting to help or contribute in some way.
Yes,
And they do have in fact, the dinner is in March.
it is, yes.
And if anyone, March, what is the date?
March 21st, second, March 22nd.
March 22nd. And if anyone was interested in coming to that, they would also go on the
Go to our
website?
website, yes.
Okay.
And it is jerseyshore girlscouts.org. And then we'll take them right to, there's a fundraising page, an event page there.
And it's a great evening. It's just a wonderful, wonderful evening. If you want to go to a great fundraising event that also is just a feel-good evening, this is the place to be. So it's the Women of Distinction Dinner, and that's coming up. And I know hadn't said that we were going to talk about it, but I just thought it was so important that perhaps some of our viewers would want to know about it.
Yes.
Maybe even would want to attend and meet the women who are being honored and past honorees, and the man who is, how does it go again?
Man enough to be a Girl Scout.
It just really is wonderful. So let's talk about Girl Scouts participating across the country. How many Girl Scouts do we know across, or girls in scouting, I should say?
We have about 2.7 million girls in Girl Scouting across the country. 2.7 million members. That includes about 2.1 million girls, and then we have quite a number of adult members. So your viewers could become an adult member of Girl Scouts
How do you
as well.
do that?
You can go to our website, where we could keep driving everyone back to
That's
the
okay,
website. You
that's
go to our
good.
website and you can become a lifetime member. We are always looking for subject matter experts to come in, adults to be leaders, adults, somebody who might have an experience in camping, they could come in and teach the girls something about camping or finances. We really pretty much have over 300 badges. We have a badge for that. So pretty much anything anyone has a skill for, we have a badge for that, and we could use some subject matter experts to be involved in that.
That's really fascinating.
Yes.
If anyone out there has an expertise or an interest, the Girl Scouts could always use you
Yes.
and your expertise. So please do go to the website and look into that. I didn't realize that myself, and I thought I had researched everything. So that would be a terrific thing for somebody to become involved in Girl Scouts even as an adult. So I urge you to go on that website. There's so much we've talked about, and there's more on the website. We don't have time in our show to go over all of it. We're just hitting the highlights. Which brings me to, you mentioned STEM, and science, technology, engineering, mathematics, none of which are my areas of expertise, and financial literacy. So let's just talk first about the latter. You teach financial literacy. What is that?
Well, women tend to not have the financial expertise that they need as they get older. And we're introducing financial literacy much younger to the girls, so
That's
they can be
great.
comfortable with, we have a badge, we have the girls create budgets, but our strongest financial literacy program is that iconic Girl Scout program, Girl Scout cookie program.
Oh, here's where the Thin Mints come in, my favorite part. Okay, so this was something I learned, something I did not realize, so let's talk about that. The cookies, everybody knows Girl Scout cookies, and everyone has his or her favorite Girl Scout cookie. But it's so much more than just selling cookies.
It is. So the girls learn, again, starting with the youngest girls, they'll set very basic goals, how many cookies they want to sell, how much they cost, how to make change, how to market, how to reach out to, speak to adults and be able to sell the cookies. Cookies can only be sold by a Girl Scout. Adults cannot sell cookies. The council does not sell cookies. They are only sold by Girl Scouts. Then as the girls get older, they'll grow their goal setting skills. So we have some girls that use their funds that they've raised to go on trips. So we had a couple girls who are Gold Award Girl Scouts who went down to the Galapagos Islands using the proceeds that they earned from their cookie sales to go walk in the footsteps of Darwin. So they really are doing quite a lot with her, but it starts young and they have to know that that's something they want to do because that takes years to put in, to save that kind of money.
Yes.
And plan for that kind of trip.
Yes, what a fascinating trip.
Yes, and then we have other girls who they do it for camping, or they want to go horseback riding, or they want, so the troop will have that as their goal, and they'll use that to try things that are a little less exotic, but still a lot of fun for the girls.
So when we buy Girl Scout cookies, we should ask the Girl Scout, what is her goal?
Yes, you should. And you should ask the parents to nicely say you'd like to hear from the Girl Scout, because it's also about the girls learning how to speak to adults and articulate what their interests are.
So many skills.
Yes.
So many skills in that one area. When you talk about budgets, do you talk also about checkbooks, all of that?
We do. There's the whole part of the financial program
So
is about
what-
budgets. And one of the things I have to say, I don't know why anyone would not want the cookies themselves, but should they not want the cookies, we do have two gifts of caring packages. So they can actually donate the cookies to a local food bank, and the troops delivers them, or they can donate them to the troops.
So I could say, I don't want to buy the cookies, I would never say that, but let's just say I did, and but here's $5, here's $10.
Well, you actually buy a set number of
You buy the
amount.
cookies.
You buy the cookies, but you choose not to receive them, and they can be sent to the troops or to local food
And
pantries.
so you can leave it with the Girl Scout who's selling them at that site.
Yes.
And they will take care of the rest.
Yeah, at the end of the sale, then we meet with different veterans areas or down to Joint Base or whomever, and they deliver the cookies so that
How nice is
the
that?
military or the senior centers, gifts of caring goes to people who might need a little boost.
Yes. Well, Girl Scout cookies always bring joy to it always brings a smile, certainly,
Yeah.
to everyone. And it's so different from when I was a Girl Scout, because we used to walk door to door. You couldn't do it today. I think for safety reasons,
No.
you couldn't do it today. But I can remember with a sheet of paper, and you had to write down, you knocked on every door, and you wrote down the person's name and the address and what kind of cookies, they would check it off, and then you went back when you got the cookies.
And they still do that in their neighborhoods. There are not encouraged, it is mandated that a parent or an adult
So it
has to
be
go with them.
Okay,
Yes.
I went by myself, but you couldn't do that
No,
today.
no. And then we have digital cookies, so they can sell their cookies online.
Really?
So they create an avatar and they can reach out to their aunts who lives in California and have their aunt buy the cookies, and they're learning, again, some other skills.
That's part of technology,
Yes.
STEM, part of the technology that
Yes.
we mentioned. So, I know there's so much we could talk about, but you mentioned, and I'm going a little bit out of order, but I don't want to forget the Gold Award.
Yes.
Now, the Gold Award is just an incredible award that a young lady attains, but not much is known about it. I know that I sometimes read about our girls becoming Gold Award recipients. Was it Gold Star at one time?
No, it had quite a number of names. I don't know that it had Gold Star. It had
But Gold Award.
Bar.
So I bring them in, and give them a proclamation, because of once a Girl Scout, always a Girl Scout.
Yes.
And I see that. But why, if you tell our viewers, what is a Gold Award? Let's go to that.
So Gold Award is the highest award you can receive in Girl Scouting. There is actually bronze and silver that you can receive ahead of time. You don't have to. You can just go for the gold. Go for the gold.
Go for the
Gold
gold.
Award. And there's quite stringent requirements around it, so the girl must commit to 80 hours of community service. They oftentimes do much more than that, and that has to be 80 hours of their time, but then they also bring in resources to do the projects. Once they receive the award, it entitles them, they are then eligible oftentimes in college for scholarships. If they go into the military, they actually will come out with a grade higher, ranking higher when they graduate. So it's quite prestigious. It just, unfortunately, we haven't done a great job speaking about it, and we're correcting that, Girl Scouts itself. So it's had it's over 100 years old. It's had a number of different names through the years. So we officially, this year, the CEO of Girl Scouts has declared that it will always be the Gold Award. And it will
That's a good, so it doesn't become confusing and everyone recognizes it
Yes.
for what it is.
And one of the real big differences from the Gold Award than any other high-ranking award is that the girls have their project that they pick has to be sustainable. So they have to make a difference that's going to be impactful for a sustaining impact in the community. So we have, some of them are educating people on, just educating the community can be part of it. So we had one girl who used her cookie money and bought a 3D printer and created prosthetic limbs for children who couldn't afford them. So these are the types of, there's some very amazing projects out there or take action programs that the girls work on that truly make a difference in their community.
That's just an incredible story.
Yes. Yeah.
So when you hear stories like this, you know that the part that Girl Scout plays in our society and has for such a long time. And people sometimes think that the Girl Scouts, Girl Scouting's not relevant anymore, but it's incredibly relevant to what's in our society now. The STEM, the literacy, transparency, is that what it was called? Literacy, wait, I have my notes, because I was a teacher. Financial literacy, that's what it was. And now projects like this, which are so futuristic in my mind,
Yes.
to buy a 3D printer and to be able to make prosthetic devices is an incredible story.
I can assure you, at 17, I was not able to do any of those
right?
things.
It's just amazing what our young people can do today, but they need the guidance, and that's what Girl Scouts are doing.
Yes.
The leadership guides them and motivates them to do that, and I'm sure it has a great impact on what they do later in life.
Yes,
Because of what
the
they learn.
statistics show that Girl Scouts, again, Girl Scouts GSUSA is very research-based, and the statistics show that the Girl Scouts just fare better in life. They are more likely to be leaders. 58% of our elected officials in Congress right now are former Girl Scouts. 100% of our female heads of state, female, I'm gonna get this wrong.
That's okay.
Secretaries of state
Okay.
were Girl Scouts.
That's right. Well, I remember reading that in their bios when they
Yes.
were there. The mayor of Fairfield Township was a Girl Scout.
There you are.
You know,
And a
so
woman of distinction.
I just know how important it is, but you're telling me things I thought, as I said before, I thought I knew everything, and I'm learning even more. So on another side, I know Girl Scouts also have camps.
Yes.
So 2 camps.
For our council,
For
we have
ours,
two,
right.
yes, we have 2 camps, one in Farmingdale, Camp Sacagawea, and that's about 144 acres right in Farmingdale. And then we have Camp Amity Acres down in Waretown, which is about 60 acres. Farmingdale has a pool and a small lake that we do boating on, it's not swimming on, and then the Amity has a lake that they swim in, the girls swim in. And we do all kinds of STEM, we still do STEM there, but then they have things like, in 14 months, I don't know all the stuff, there is no Girl Scout, so you shouldn't know for the interview. We have something called a Gaga Pit, which is
What is that?
It's a new fun thing that the girls get in and they throw, it's a enclosure and it's kind of like dodgeball, but that's one of the fun things that they really enjoy. And then there's a zip line and there's a climbing wall and there's a low ropes course challenge. So they learn leadership and teammanship and just and archery. And I'm learning archery because I should, I guess.
Yeah.
And then we have an equestrian center in Farmingdale. And the girls who go to Amity, we use an outside horse farm, and the girls get a chance to ride horses and be exposed to all of that. So it's a lot of fun for the summer. And this summer we are girl-led. So when the girls say that there's something they'd like to do different, this year we're adding a week of travel to our girls in Amity, so that the older girls are going to get to travel to some different places in the state that they wanted to try to visit. And we're adding golf, so the parents can come in and learn and play golf with their daughters. So we're pairing with First Tee which is a nonprofit organization here that teaches golf. And it's a lifelong skill that girls need, women need to know as they get into careers on how to play golf.
I want to go back to camp.
Yes, well, come visit us.
So I may just show up. I just think that's fascinating that they have all of that available to them. Camp runs for how long?
The Farmingdale is for 10 weeks. It starts around 4th of July and runs through the end of August. And then Amity is just 9 weeks. It's just a week shorter. And on the website, you go to the toggle camps, and there's the information about that. And we have open houses coming up. And
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
So, and that would be on the website also, they can
Yes.
know when, and they could go and they can see what the camp is and the different programs you have. It's a lot to put into 10 weeks. I'm
Yes.
sure they're,
well,
They have it all.
each week has a different theme. So we have a 2-week STEM camp. We have a robotics team, and they come in and we have a very small STEM room that we're writing grants for right now so that we can upgrade it. But the girls will come in during summer and work on some STEM programs and build a robot, and it's all right here in Monmouth and Ocean County.
and golf,
And golf.
which is really very important.
Yes.
It really is. I think especially young ladies going into business, because very often people go out, play golf, talk business, and it's a good skill to have.
Yes.
It's also good to have just recreationally to do that. And you said they do a little bit of boating as well?
They do. We have canoes and fun yaks, which are a one-person kayak, which I didn't know about that until I learned that one last year when I started. So one of the great things about Girl Scouts with the 300 badges and all the different things is you can try a lot of different things and decide you don't like it, and you might decide you like something that you didn't think you did.
Well, that's the whole purpose, I think, of badges, is
Right.
that you try it. You learn about whatever that topic is, and like you said, I can love it or not so much, or something I might not think of, but I'm gonna try it anyway. I remember doing my badges, I don't know if they still do this, you had to check off different things that you had to achieve, and someone had to sign that you had done whatever it was, verify that you had
we still
completed
have that, yes.
whatever that was, and then
Yes.
you finally got your badge. And we sewed them onto the sleeves of our uniforms. I know now they have a
There's a
sash.
sash or a vest,
Or a
and some of
vest.
the very accomplished girls will add a panel to their vest, and it will be all the way down their back, and then they'll have this long panel that goes down to their knees, and there's all badges on there.
And I love looking at them. When I see Girl Scouts, I go to different events and I see them wearing the badges. What really impresses me is now the variety, the extensive list of badges that you can earn. Really, it's any interest that you could possibly have, there's a badge.
And one of the things that's really helped with Girl Scouts staying relevant is they add new badges. So this year there was over 100 badges have been added, 80 in STEM, quite a number in outdoors. We've partnered, GSUSA has partnered with some national entities, and it's just really taking what the girls are interested in or what they might need later and built badges around it and developed a curriculum. And so when you're a leader, it's not as daunting as it was when I was a leader. You actually get some help from council, but you also get a handbook, and it walks you through what to do at the different parts of the meeting, the topics you need to cover, and what some sample ideas might be. So the internet is very helpful with that as well.
Yes, well, it's technology, STEM,
Yeah.
even for what you're doing, the technology that comes in, it's available now. And that's a good point, because if maybe some of our viewers are thinking, I'd like to be a Girl Scout leader, it's not as daunting as it used
No.
to be.
And you don't have to have a girl in Girl Scouts to be a Girl Scout leader.
That's good to know. You do not have to have a daughter in scouting. You can be a Girl Scout leader just because you want to work with the young ladies, and because, as we said earlier, you have an interest perhaps in a particular area, or because you're willing to take on a troop.
Right. It's
Sometimes
really a
I know
mentorship program.
Yes, and I know sometimes that's hard to find someone to want to take a troop.
Yes.
So we're looking for that also, you know, if someone out there wants to be a troop leader, don't hesitate, come on in, the water's fine.
And we do have counsel that just will help you start a troop, so they'll help you with several of the meetings and be there to support you and walk you through and help you, and connect you with, because every troop wants to sell cookies, we wanna get you up and ready and having the skill that you need to run the, and you don't do it all alone, the parents will volunteer.
And that also makes it more community oriented, and I know I was gonna ask about that, the Girl Scouts play such a large role in the community. What are your thoughts on that, how they learn to give back to their community, how they learn to make it a better place?
Well, they really, one of the things that I've really been impressed, and one of the reasons I was interested in the position was at just how structured it can be, but the girls are free to do different things within the
That
structure. And it's very supportive, Girl Scouts are very supportive of each other, and then just when they see a need, they'll step in and help, so really giving back to the community. One of the issues I think with the Gold Award is girls aren't good about talking about some of the good things they do.
No, they're not.
And we need
You're
to be
right.
better at that.
You're right.
And so we're really trying very hard to focus on some of the things that girls are doing, the troops are doing. We just recently had a Silver Award project in the Spring Lake area where the girls met with restaurants and talked about the straws, the plastic straws,
Oh, right.
and
It's
got
now
them
in the
to
news.
change to paper straws.
And they did.
And they did it.
Wow, that's a great accomplishment.
Yes.
That's really been in the news.
And they did that as a troop. They went in and they learned everything about it. And it was very interesting because they were going in with something different. So one of the big things that we want to assure everyone in Girl Scouts is that failure is okay,
Yeah.
because you'll learn from that. So they had a whole different plan on what they wanted to address. And when the restaurants explained why they were doing some of the things they were doing and for health reasons, and then they started talking about the straws, and then they got the restaurants to change the straws from plastic to something's recyclable.
And they probably felt wonderful.
Yes.
That they were able to have that change, be an
Yes.
agent of change.
Yes.
And they really are in so many ways. But you're right, they don't talk about it.
No,
They
and
just do it.
as a politician, something my interest in policy setting, there's a whole civic engagement piece. So we have girls that actually learn the democratic process, and they are involved, they are delegates, and they go to a national conference, and proposals are put out, and they get informed on them. And at our last conference, there were 4 proposals, and the girls turned 2 of them down. So they're not rubber stamping, and they get up and they speak and they ask questions and they do the research. But it's not schooled, so they do it in a fun way. So we have partnerships with elected officials who come in and explain the importance of having the knowledge and learning
Mhm.
policy and civic engagement, and that you can make a difference.
You can, and how you get to be where you are, the steps taken to get involved with community service, and that often leads to getting involved in an elected position, because that really is public service, and
Yeah.
it just continues that path that they're on.
Yes.
And they're so well prepared when they leave scouting, and they usually do leave about after high school.
Well, you can be in Girl Scouts until 18,
Yeah.
and at the end of high school. But then you can come right back and be a leader, or you can be a young alum and advise. I have a CEO advisory board, and that's a group of girls who just meet with me once a month, and we talk about what's working and what's not in the council, what changes we can make. And we've invited some alum to come in and participate in that and work on a social action committee, so they're actually meeting with legislators and going down to Trenton and trying to learn how bills are drafted and what they can potentially make some difference on.
You're busy.
Yes.
You're very busy.
We
So
have a
we're
great
talk-
staff.
Yes, I was working with them years ago in another position that I had, and I would go in and I would speak with the girls, and I just always found it fascinating. It was a wonderful trip down memory lane for me, and then so much has changed, and I'm always so very impressed. But if I'm a young girl watching and I think, wow, I'd like to join Girl Scouts, but I don't know how, maybe I'm a little shy, a little reluctant, how would I go about joining? How would I find out if there is a troop?
Well, the good thing is you don't even have to join a troop any longer. So we have Juliettes. So those are girls that are maybe their schedule doesn't allow them to be in a troop, or they want to do some things on their own, and that's an organized group of girls. Anyone who's interested would reach out to our website or our phone number, give us a call, and our customer service team is wonderful. And they would ask some questions and decide where the best place. They would tell the girls if there's a troop in the area. If there's not, they would help them even, do you want to start a troop? Do you have a couple of friends that you would want to work with? And if they really didn't want to go into a troop, or there wasn't one available, then we have the Juliettes, and
Named after?
our founder, Juliet Gordon-Lowe. So those are girls that still want to do Girl Scouts and can do it on their own. But it's, again, structured. We have staff that works with them, that has trips and things to bring them together as a group, even if they're not a full troop, brings them together as a group. So they'll do, we have a hiking group that they'll go hiking together, or whitewater rafting, or really anything. If you want to do it, there is an app, a badge for that.
I just find the whole thing just so fabulous. You must be very proud to be the CEO. What are you most proud?
I would say that I'm most proud of seeing really what the girls can achieve, and when watching some of them. This past weekend, we had an archery tournament, and I just got the opportunity to speak to Daisies, who are the kindergartners, and ask them what they liked, and their faces just lit up, and mentioned to one of them about family camping, and so she went right over to her father and said, we have to come here and go camping. So just letting them see that they can try something outside of their comfort zone, and know that they're supported while they're doing it. It's truly a safe space for the girls to try something different, something to try something on.
I think it's just incredible what you're doing.
Thank you.
When I think back of my years, so many years ago, and how much it has changed, I know you're in the place where you should be. I know there was a retirement, and you came in, and you've just moved on with so many different areas, built on what was already there.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to reading about what the Girl Scouts of the Jersey Shore will be doing in the future. And as you know, whenever I can, I always join in
I appreciate that.
at some of our events. And there's so much more that we could talk about. If you are interested, please go on the Girl Scout website. We'll show that at the end of our show. And if you know of a girl who might be interested, if you're watching and you're a young girl who would be interested, you can come as a volunteer adult. Anyone, please don't hesitate. It's a remarkable adventure that you will have, and it's so very rewarding in so many ways. And you won't know, if you come in as an adult, how many lives you will be influencing in such a positive way by your participation. So please do that. And again, I just found out, I learned so many things, that if there isn't a troop in your area, you can still come in as a Juliet. So there's just so much, and you can go to the Galapagos Islands.
Yes.
That's an incredible story. But I want to thank you so much. I know we could talk for another hour. I want to thank you, and I know you're busy with so many things, and I appreciate the fact that you came to talk with us today on From the Mayor's Desk to share with us what the Girl Scouts are doing. It is not just Thin Mints.
It is not. And thank you very much for having me.
Well, you know what? I know that I'll probably have you back again in a couple of years, and we'll just keep going, because there'll be so much. Let's make a date for that in another year or two. Let's have you come back and say what else the Girl Scouts are doing. And for our viewers out there, please know that it's a wonderful organization. It's so up to date and modern with what's going on now that it is the place to be. So until next time, this is Mayor Barbara McMorrow saying, stay safe and be well.
When you buy delicious Girl Scout cookies, girls embark on great adventures, explore exciting careers, gain important life skills, dream big, face their fears, and so much more. That's right, your cookie purchase equals amazing experiences for millions of girls just like me.